blast. That gets blocked. Off ahead, Ryan Paling on the break. Paling in, shot scores! Ryan Paling on the break. 3-2.
It was an exciting weekend here in St. Cloud as St. Cloud State managed to beat Denver University and also clinch the NCHC title. Welcome into your Husky Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Kirsten Krull, and alongside me today is St. Cloud Times reporter Mick Hatten. Now Mick, thanks for being on the show today. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
And so now let's take just a second here to talk about the win over Denver and having the Penrose Cup. How big of a morale boost is that for this team moving forward?
Well, St. Cloud State had, lost 5 straight to Denver, and even with the tie, it had been a while since St. Cloud State had pulled off a win against Denver. So it was a big game for them on Saturday. I thought they played one of their best games of the season. To clinch against the defending national champs and the defending regular season champs, that's a big deal. And to do it at home, I think it was a lot of fun for the fans to see something that hasn't happened here before.
And so let's just take a minute to talk. What do you think this means moving forward for the rest of the season?
Well, I think that the big thing is that it gives them an awful lot of confidence. This, as I was mentioning, they've struggled against Denver, and this is the type of team that they're going to have to beat if they want to be a national title contender. They're going to have to beat teams like Denver to get there, and so I think it was the biggest thing was they found a way to get over the hump against Denver and put themselves into a situation where they get into a tight game like that, they know that they can come away with a win.
Now moving aside from the big win here at the Brooks Center over the weekend and looking forward to the matchup against North Dakota that's coming up. North Dakota, usually at this point in the season, we see them fighting for an NCHC title, but this year it's a little different. We see them fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament. Why is that?
Well, I think the biggest thing for them right now is that they've struggled a bit to score goals. They don't have quite the high-end talent that they typically do up front. So they've been struggling to score goals. When Christian Wolanin and Colton Pullman are 2 of their top scorers, but they're both defensemen. That's unusual for North Dakota. Typically, you see 5 or 6 of their forwards are up there, and sometimes they're among the national leaders as well, despite them playing a tough schedule. So I think that's been the big thing for North Dakota. Can they score enough goals to pick up a win?
And who do you really think is going to rise up to the occasion from St. Cloud State this weekend?
Well, I think the big thing with this weekend is how St. Cloud State going to handle being in this situation. You're talking about North Dakota being in a little bit of an odd situation. St. Cloud State's really never gone into the last weekend of a regular season where they clinched a conference title before. They already know that they're going to be the number 1 seed. They know who they're going to face. They're going to face Miami in the first round of the playoffs. Can they get themselves back up? It was a very emotional weekend last weekend. It was senior weekend on top of that. So can they get themselves geared back up to play a tough North Dakota team? I don't care what their record says. You go up to North Dakota, it's a tough game.
Oh, and that's for sure. Mick, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Now you can catch both games of this weekend series either on 96.7 FM The River with the voice of Husky Hockey, Jim Erickson, or you can tune in on NCHC TV. Friday night's puck drop is set for 7:37 p.m., while Saturdays is set for 7:07. That's going to do it for this weekend's preview. Thanks for watching.